What's going on, everybody, and welcome inside Goodman Softball Complex in Madison, Wisconsin, where we're about set for Game 2 of this Border Battle Weekend Wraparound Series. Anthony Winker alongside Grace Canizzo. And Grace, yesterday we got treated to a pretty fun one. A couple of them out in the field sporting those towels as well. Riley Crane at second, Ellie Hubbard at shortstop. Tobias takes strike 3 on the outside corner, and it's down on 3 pitches to start the game. Dangerous pitch to a great hitter.
Leads the team in walks. We'll see if she can get the 4th ball.
And she does on that pitch just outside. So Kraft is aboard with a 1-out walk, and that'll put her.
Redeem herself.
Not somebody you want to be giving an extra life. Now let's see what Valencia can do with it. Out into right field and pretty deep. Lewis drifting back and makes the catch just inside the fair foul line, and that will be out. And Bubba Wield is at third. Payoff pitch to Cosgrove, fly ball on the infield. Crane looking up into the rain is able to catch it, and that's going to do it for the top of the first. Badgers coming up for their first at-bats when we come back. Outs on the season for Hasek.
Yeah, and you mentioned Olivia Bark with the 370. That improved from a 279 last season.
And gets strike 3 called on the outer half. And Bark, without the bat leaving her shoulder, is punched out for out number 1. Ahead 2-0. Slosher rips it into right field. That's a base hit. And a dangerous runner is aboard for the Badgers. The first hit of the game belongs to number 20 in red.
Wonderful placement, of course.
Is a base stealing threat, and you figure that increases on a day like today. Stays on the first pitch as Blomberg grounds it to third off the glove of Chavez, and that's going to be a fair ball. So
completely, because that was unbelievable stuff by Hillary Blomberg. You know, it doesn't always have to be the hottest bat, but
runners are off here on a pitch in the dirt, and they're going to move up.
Today.
And now Lewis chops one on the ground to the right side. She'll be out number 2, but that is the first run of the game for the Badgers, taking advantage of their base running abilities and are able to score. That'll be an RBI for Lewis and her 31st of her freshman campaign.
Emily Bojan, see what she can do with 2 outs. Obviously would be nice to get started. Now 42-25.
And here's a hot shot out to left field and deep, and it gets over the wall, and it's gone. A home run for Bojan. And Wisconsin strikes early for 3 in the bottom of the first.
Just her 5th of the year, and that was a beauty. With so much strength, so much power into this great gap, as you can see the replay right there. Nothing you can do about it if you're Minnesota.
A lead to match her jersey number for the Badgers, 3-0. They lead. And that's about as nightmare of a start as you can get if you're Minnesota. Cut that lead in half, and turned out that Emmy Wells' home run was the difference. 1-2 when Wells hits this one in the air to center field. This is in the ballpark, and it'll be caught by Burnett to end the inning, but not before Wisconsin. And Emily Bojan strike for 3.
Coming into today.
Another 1-2 pitch. She struck her out. Great pitch from Salo. Had Burnett fishing. Anywhere around the rubber is off. It can throw off the entire pitch as it does there. And it'll be Snippus who draws a walk on 3-1. So this inning starts the back there, but just going to have to go from the dugout, I guess. Anyways, here's a shot up the middle from Sydney Schwartz to center, and Lucy drifting over to her right makes the catch for out number 2. So a loud out from Sydney Green. A 2-2 pitch. Chavez pops it up. Foul territory. Blomberg has got it, and that will do it for the second inning for Minnesota, and they still are looking for their first hit. Count is 1-2 here to Kuffel. Strike 3 called at the knees on the outside corner. Good pitch from Hasek and her second punch out.
Really nice. And
for them last year, and 33 appearances at a 2.34 ERA. And pops up Hubbard here. Chavez drifting back and reaching over her head is able to make the catch. 2 down now. Speedy, but she's got some pop on her bat as well, and she grounds this one to Chavez at third, who throws it across the diamond and gets the 3rd out of the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Hossack. A welcome to the freshman. And Easton in to right field, coming in and reaching down to make the catch is Kuffel.
Great job by Kuffel. Lots of patience there. Waited to see.
Which is important because now it's the top of the order for Minnesota. And Tobias to the right side. An underhand flip from Grace O'Brien.
Yeah,
number 2.
Do something to give life to this Minnesota team that's scoreless.
3-2, and Salo misses up high. So 2 walks for Kraft on her afternoon so far. And that'll bring up Nani Valencia.
And I'm sure Kraft will
see if Minnesota can piece together something with 2 down, as Valencia with a big pop-up on the infield. Running in is Bark, tracking it and catching it. And that's it for the top of the 3rd. Good work by
became the 3rd most double holder by a freshman in program history.
Bark rolls one over to short on the ground, and Tobias is there to make the throw. 4 out number. I was going to mention about her and Bark. That was certainly something to track last year. Schlosser back to Tobias. Nice play off the scoop and is able to retire the speedy Molly Schlosser for out number 2. Back and forth last year about who was going to get that freshman doubles record. And here's a fly ball right field and relatively deep from Blomberg. And that's out number 3. Valencia able to retire the all-time leader in doubles for Wisconsin. 3, 4, 5, 6 in the Minnesota order. Still searching for their first hit against Salo. On the ground too short. Hubbard bobbles, throws, and got her just barely by about a half of a step. The bobble does not cost Ellie Hubbard, and they are able to get out number 1.
Yeah, only 1 out as it stands.
Badgers have her shifted slightly in the outfield to the push side. And on 3-2, Salo misses. And now that'll be another walk. So Salo, game number 42 for Minnesota. As this is flied out into right field. And having it measured and catching it is Kuffel, who makes a strong throw back into the infield.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that...
Your coach telling you don't run.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely more conservative on that side.
Here's a high fly ball out in deep left field from Schwartz. Back at the wall. It's gone. Sydney Schwartz, a 2-run bomb. And the first hit for Minnesota is a big one, cutting the Wisconsin lead down to 1.
Nice stuff by her. I mean, you could see Wisconsin trying to see if they could grab that one. Almost, I mean, really impossible for them to do anything. Nothing you can do about that if you're Schlosser in that position. Excellent hit, just really saw it well, got the meat of it. And all of a sudden, more life in Minnesota, especially given that they had 2 outs, still do, of course.
Yeah, who needs stolen bases when you can hit the ball over the fence like that? Now pop up on the infield here will end the inning, but not before Sydney Schwartz. Fans in Badgerland may recognize that last name, but
you can switch in and out, especially in a wraparound series like this one.
Lewis to second base. A good stop by Easton. He makes the throw for out number 1.
Yeah, she got over that place to swing. Don't know that she could even have gotten a piece of that.
Got to fight with 2 strikes now if you're Bojan. That's right down the middle, and strike 3 called.
Been rather unsuccessful in this inning.
Another 3-2 pitch. That's ball 4. So Hossack finally loses a batter with 2 strikes. And Wells is aboard with a 2. Have not scored since the top of the 1st. And Kuffel, that one's going to get on the ground. Wells jumps over, and that perhaps distracts the second baseman, Easton, and allows Kuffel to reach.
Yeah, I mean, don't even know.
2-0 pitch, and Hubbard to second, and Easton is able to make the play this time and gets Minnesota out of the inning. We're halfway through this one, on 2-0, fly ball, right field, right center field that is. And Danielle Lucy, who is shaded slightly over that direction. Now, here is the aforementioned Kraft, who rips the first pitch she sees into left field for a base hit. Taylor Kraft with a 2-outer here. 2-1 pitch on the ground through the left side. That's a base hit for Valencia. Her first hit of the game, and now runners on first and second.
Up in the 2-1 count.
On 2-1, Cosgrove back to Salo. Flips to first, and that's the inning. So Gabby Salo finds her way into some trouble, but is able to work her way out.
Maybe adds to the chemistry there.
They're 0-2, and Lucy rolls it over to short. Tobias makes the throw. It's out number 1.
Nice patience from Tobias. She knew she had maybe a split set.
Pitched a couple of times against the Ducks in Minnesota series last weekend and did well, as there's a good stop by Tobias, who's been busy in these last few innings, and she's made every single play so far. 2 down.
Yeah, and
2-1 pitch. Schlosser squares the bunt and puts it down. That's a good one, and she's safe. Excellent bunt from Molly Schlosser, surprising everybody.
Especially given their improvement throughout the series.
New life for Blomberg on 2-2, and Tobias again making play after play, shining defensively. Conference. The only team without a softball team in the Big Ten is USC, by the way, just for those curious. And strikeout from Salo on Burnett. Good off-speed pitch to get strikes of Goodman Softball Complex. 3-1 to Snippus, and that is high, so that's another walk for Salo.
Yeah, she's been struggling in that department against.
She's been aggressive and has hit the ball hard every time. She's behind now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And strike 3 called on the outside corner, a massive strikeout for Molly Jacobson for out number 2. She's out of this inning. That one's poked through the right side. That's a base hit. And Snippus will hold up at second. And Werner extends the inning with a single.
You could hear that one. It was beautiful, this team.
Remember that game? Popped up in on the infield and caught. Caught by Conger. And Wisconsin escapes the jam with
their lead. Not as dependent on poor performance by Minnesota.
Lewis, ground ball, base hit, right field. Didn't hit it too hard, but hit it in the right spot. Hit Linkletter as well. 1-2 to Bojan, who lines it, and that's caught by Chavez. Look out! That ball gets away from Schwartz at first base. So close to being doubled off was Linkletter, who got caught off of first base. Big pitch here, 1-2 to Emmy Wells. Wells rolls it over to the left side. Chavez looks Linkletter back. Now Linkletter's going to try to take third. She's in there safely.
Interesting decision. Better eyes than me, I'm sure. Brooke Huffo, I mentioned this before, but she does have the most strikeouts on the team. But when she does hit the ball well, she gets a good piece of it, draws the walk there.
It's another very, very close pitch. And then probably played defense as well.
And how nice would it be for Wisconsin to extend their lead before allowing Minnesota to bat? Riley Crane steals a base. Yes, she wants.
Do you green light her here, Grace?
I mean, yeah.
We'll see if what Hubbard's thinking on 3-0. That's high. That's ball 4.
Hey, I mean, to add on to that, Anthony.
Osick deals on 0-2. Lucy fly ball right side. Going back is Easton, and now she's coming in, and that's going to fall in fair territory. The wind blew it, and everybody's still running with 2 outs, and Wisconsin has cleared the bases. That is going to be a triple for Lucy on a ball that didn't leave the infield. Are you kidding me?
That was ridiculous. First triple of the season. What better time for it to come?
I mean, look at Easton. You get this ball up in the air, and then the wind get it or something. I don't know. That ball just kept going and going.
Yeah, honestly, I would give her the benefit of the doubt, say the wind, because she looked sure of it and then all of a sudden started sprinting.
Via Bark trying to add on to the Badgers' 3-run sixth. Bark up the middle, but the defensive vacuum, that's Tobias. Makes the play and ends the inning, but not before the Badgers. Like a gust of wind. Time was called. So now we got 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tobias. Tobias, a fly ball center field. Lucy coming back, and she's able to track this one for out number 1.
No problem for her, and quite a bit, and might sound like a broken record, but I argue for good reason. That's how good of a player she is.
Close to drawing her 3rd walk of the game. And there she does, so she will take first base. Valencia. Here's the pitch, and that one's a base hit right field, so a good job of 2-strike hitting by Valencia, poking one through the right side, and some substitutions. Minnesota can't necessarily do that as much.
Yeah, 19 players on that roster.
1-2, that ball gets away from Wells, and a run's going to score. So Jacobson with 2 wild pitches on her last 3, and Hooper coming in from third base to make it a 3-run game.
That'll be her 11th run of the season. Have a win instead of 2 losses.
Another 3-2 pitch served out to right center field, and that's going to get down. And the ball kicks away from Lucy. Cosgrove aggressive, trying to take an extra base, and she's in with a single, maybe perhaps a double, depending on how they rule that against Lucy. And look out, Minnesota. 2 more runs here in the top of the 7th, and they've got the top.
Well, than this, despite the rain.
On 3-2, Jacobson misses high, and Minnesota has got the tying run aboard, and she's a speedy one. Breezy Burnett out there for Jessa Snippis to come in. Battle in the circle and in the box. 1-2 pitch, flied out right field. Long run for the Badgers. Linkletter, who's staying in the game in right field, is able to make the catch for out number 2.
So Lucy, Crane, and Linkletter were all...
Chavez. And that's ball 4.
And all of a sudden, bases are loaded. 2 outs. Minnesota, veteran player. Her experience can maybe shine through here.
2-1 pitch, bouncing ball to short. Hubbard stumbles, throws in time. And Wisconsin holds on just barely by the skin of their teeth. And they get the 2nd game victory and the series win over Minnesota.
I mean, thematically, we've discussed how Minnesota is a talented team, but it just always comes too late. Had incredible momentum there, but too late once again. They must be frustrated at this point. Of course, they'll have another chance to redeem themselves tomorrow, but man, how frustrating you must be if you're Minnesota.
So that bases clearing triple in the bottom of the 6th.